Hello everyone, it's King Sloth and welcome back to another military reaction. Today I react to the most hardcore soldiers, Gurkhas. This video is made by the infographic show. I love everything the infographic show make. Everything seems to be really good. All the content is chef's kiss. For those who don't know me, my name's King Sloth, also known as Sloth. Was in the British Army for just under 7 years before transferring across to the Royal Air Force. I do YouTube videos on the side as a hobby. It keeps me sane. Make sure to leave a like, around for 10 likes on this video, comment down below what you want me to react to next, and subscribe. Around for 4K by the end of the year. But you're not interested in that, you're interested in finding the reactions, let's get it done.
When you think of the world's best soldiers, maybe you think of American Navy SEALs
No.
using cutting-edge tech, or
Not
Russian
even close.
Spetsnaz fighting bears in hand-to-hand combat,
They're
or
mental.
British SAS parachuting behind enemy lines while
They're
sipping a
up
nice
there.
piping hot cup of Earl Grey tea. But
Right.
you'd be dead wrong, because the best soldiers in the world are without a doubt Nepal's Gurkhas. Nepal is
Scary.
a small country situated along the Himalayan mountain.
Before I continue this video, I've done a lot of work with the Nepalese soldiers, as well as a couple of actual infantry Gurkhas I've met a lot of times. They are some of the nicest, kind, caring, compassionate, intelligent, musically gifted people you'll ever meet. But if you get on the wrong side of them, chances are you're gonna die.
And striding the borders of India and Chinese-occupied Tibet. In the 19th century, the Kingdom of Gurkha, present-day Nepal, was busy trying to expand into Tibet and to areas of India. The British, who badly wanted access to lucrative trade opportunities in Tibet, petitioned the King of Gurkha repeatedly for trade access, but was refused each time. As the tensions grew, border disputes between Gurkha and British-held Indian territories eventually culminated in all-out war. But it was then that the world would learn of the small but mighty Gurkha warriors. Despite being the world's sole superpower, having access to greater wealth and better equipment, British forces struggled in their fight against the Gurkhas. The British East India Company, which championed the conflict, suffered massive casualties, and British commanders remarked on the fighting prowess and bravery of the Gurkha soldiers. The Gurkhas were eventually forced to sign a peace deal with the British, but they had
Tactically
more than
minded,
earned the
fast,
respect of the British
aggressive.
military. So much so, in fact, that one of the stipulations of the peace deal was that Britain would be allowed to recruit from amongst the Gurkhas for its own military. This would start a two-century-long partnership between the British military.
And I know a lot of people who join the Gurkhas because being in the Nepalese army doesn't have the same amount of pay as being in the British army, obviously. One of my friends, who I still speak to now, he sends home, so he pays all his bills, all his food supplies, so all the spare money he has, he sends back home to his family, and they're living like millionaires over there. It's crazy, but that shows how compassionate the blokes are.
And the Gurkha people. To date, around 20,000 Gurkhas have fought and died alongside British troops in conflicts all around the world. But what makes the Gurkhas the best soldiers in the world? First, their simple genetics. Like any alpine people, Gurkha soldiers have a solid genetic advantage over us lowlanders. At such high altitudes, getting enough oxygen to function normally can be difficult for normal people, even if they aren't doing anything particularly strenuous. To overcome the problems with living in such high elevation,
I once went on a run with a Gurkha. So we all went on like a night out the night before. The next day, normally, when you're in training, you're like, I'll go for a run, we'll sweat it out, be fine. So I think we did a lot of, me and a lad called Basanta, we did about, I think it's a 4 miler or a 5 miler, which at the time when I was properly training wasn't that bad, but obviously being hungover, you're dying, you're dehydrated, you're just sweating out the drink. But literally I finished it, he ran me back to my house, he was like, oh, I'll see you in a bit. I was like, where are you going back to the block? He's like, nah, I'm going to do another 5 mile. I'm like, you sick human being.
Allows their blood to more efficiently store and transfer oxygen, and their organs are more efficient at using oxygen than those of us who live at lower elevations. Thus, while a normal person might struggle with the thin oxygen atop a mountain, Gurkhas can make better use of that oxygen and not suffer the same debilitating effects.
They also make some really good snipers as well.
In a normal oxygen environment, their genetic mutation allows them even greater efficiency. This means that on a genetic level, Gurkhas are capable of greater physical fitness than normal people. High stamina and great endurance are their superpower. But that's only part of the story, because another reason Gurkhas are the best soldiers in the world is the incredibly grueling selection process to become one.
Correct.
Living in a country
this
with
is what I'll kind of
opportunities
on a video
for
on their selection
becoming
process
a
is
Gurkha
insane.
is not just about prestige for the Nepalese youth. It's also about opening the doors to a better future. That's why every year almost 30,000 young Nepalese men compete for a slot in the 200-man recruiting quota.
So literally
meaning
the
that there's
best
an
of the
extremely
best
tough
getting the
competition for the
Gurkhas.
chance to fight alongside the British military as a Gurkha. The selection process is designed to weed out all but the smartest and toughest of applicants, and it's considered the most brutal in the world. Applicants must run up the Himalayan hills with a wicker basket full of rocks on their back for an hour. And they must be able to do 75 bench jumps in 1 minute and 70 sit-ups in 2 minutes. And that's just to get in. Once accepted, additional training awaits a would-be Gurkha. Despite having such low numbers, Gurkhas have historically distinguished themselves on any battlefield they fought on, and their deeds of daring are the stuff of legend.
Yeah, because
in World War II, Gurkha Lashima...
The slogan of the Gurkhas is it's better to die fighting than die a coward. I think that's what the correct one anyway. Better to die fighting than die a coward. And that in itself, that's ingrained in them. You'll find, I'll try and find a video to react to in the future. I think it was one Gurkha fought off like 18 Taliban. So he ran out of all his ammo, used all his grenades, claymores, other people's weapons who had died around him. And then he went on to use his kukri, so their knife, and survived.
Gurung was fighting on behalf of Britain against Japan. One day, the position he shared with 2 other men was attacked by 200 Japanese, and despite the overwhelming odds, the Gurkhas refused to retreat. After intense fire, both his comrades were mortally wounded, leaving Gurung on his own. Suddenly, several grenades dropped into his position, and Gurung immediately sprung into action.
I think he lost his hand and carried on firing. He was reloading.
He pitched the 3rd grenade, though it exploded in his hand.
This is the story I've seen.
Most of the fingers on that hand, severely injuring his torso, right arm, and a leg. God, however, had seen fit to give Gurung a spare arm. As the Japanese charged his position, sure that Gurung must be dead by now, they were met by steady and accurate rifle fire as Gurung was using his left hand to fire his rifle. Realizing that Gurung was basically indestructible, the Japanese wisely retreated. When the dust cleared, Gurung had killed 31 Japanese and prevented his position from being overrun, earning himself the coveted Victoria Cross. The Japanese, however, weren't the only Axis power to face the wrath of the Gurkhas, and on the battlefields of Europe, the Germans would get their own taste. After a particularly brutal battle,
I didn't know
a battalion of Gurkhas commanded by Colonel Peter Jones found itself low on ammunition and pinned down by the enemy machine gun positions. Jones and the Gurkhas decided that despite having many wounded and being low on ammo, the Germans really needed to lose this war badly. And in a scene straight out of Braveheart, the Gurkhas charged at the enemy machine gun positions with rifles and their kukri blades. The fighting turned into brutal hand-to-hand combat, with the Gurkhas destroying the enemy positions. Even off the battlefield, though, Gurkhas are still a force to be reckoned with. In 2011, a retired Gurkha was riding a train in India when a gang of robbers boarded the train. The 40 men immediately began robbing passengers and attempting to rape the women. Figuring that 40-to-1 odds made things about fair, retired Gurkha Bishnu Shrestha whipped out his trusty kukri knife and took on the entire gang of men who were armed with knives, swords, and pistols. After killing 3 of the robbers and severely injuring 8 others, the rest of the gang lost its nerve and quickly fled. Thanks to intense training, a genetic mutation, and a fierce fighting spirit,
always ready to go, always willing to help.
Best soldiers in the world, and anywhere that Britain or its allies fight, Gurkhas are sure to be there. Now go check out Most Hardcore Soldier, Roman Legionnaire, or this.
That's amazing. That's what I mean. The Gurkhas. I've got so many stories about times going out with Gurkhas. I might have to do like a story time vlog about one of the nights that I've had with them, because they are mental. But fitness-wise, they are crazy. Crazy blokes. Going on runs, they don't get tired. Going on tabs, I think because they're shorter, I feel like I kept up with them on tabs, which is good. But when it came to runs, or for the size of them, they are quite short, the small blokes. However, the amount of weight they can lift is crazy. It's crazy. So like, they're lifting not near enough the same amount of weight as me and near enough half the size. They just don't know quit. I literally, when you go like, oh, I'll challenge you to this, they're like, you're gonna challenge me? Okay then, let's fucking have it. And they'll be shown to the ground. If they can't beat you the first time, they will go and train relentlessly until they can beat you. It's crazy. But yeah, I love the Gurkhas. Love everything they do, everything they stand for. And if I had to pick someone in the British forces to be on my side, in a situation like a battle scenario, it'd be the Gurkhas. They don't know quit. They don't know quit. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, leave a like, comment and subscribe. And for 10 likes, comment down below you want to react to next, subscribe. And for 4K at the end of the year, let's get it done. It's been King Sloth. See you all soon.